So I was speaking to this family member of mine, and we were having a conversation, and I noticed that she was displaying a lot of congestion. Her nose felt stuffy to her, and it sounded stuffy to me, and it just sounded uncomfortable. And I know that this is not the first time that she sounds this way, but it is like the only time I really just felt like I needed to kind of break my rule and give advice when no one even asked me for advice. I'm very particular about giving advice as a so-called vegan and raw and health nut or whatever people want to sometimes label you as. So, you don't want to come across like you know everything or like you're holier than thou. But in this particular case, the suffering was needling at me just a little bit. So instead of just blurting out what I thought she maybe can do to improve her breathing situation, I first asked her, would you like my advice? And she said yes. I said, okay, because I just want to make sure I'm not disrespecting whatever process you got going on, for handling your own self. I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. Everybody has their mission in life, and even though I already know that her diet is not like mine's, I still want to put the respect there. So she said she wanted my advice, so I gave it to her. And I think she said she had eaten pizza with a meatball on it. She got it from like takeout, and it was like a meatball pizza. Never heard of that. But she was complaining that they only gave her one meatball. So this was weird. But judgment aside, I was like, okay. So I get an idea of what you're eating. So we got dairy on top of meat. Now there's a lot of things that go into good health, good digestion, and great breathing or ease of breathing situation. But I was just going to take a wild stab at it. And also from knowing her history for several years, that her diet perhaps is not agreeing with her. So to fast forward past what she was currently eating, I suggested maybe that she would just eat raw fruits and vegetables for one day. And I suggested that she might feel a lot more lighter in her head, less congestion, easier breath, easier feeling of digestion. And she already eats maybe 1 or 2 meals a day. I think 1 big meal and maybe a little snack a day or something like that. So, but it is obviously cooked. It's highly processed. And because of her situation, she orders out a lot. It's very convenient for her, which I understand. So I suggested that to her. And she was open because I first asked nicely. Not nicely, I first asked respectfully, would you like my advice? And even if she didn't take my advice, I'd, take it or leave it. Just, my heart is not, so attached to it where I can't just say something and you don't have to like obey me as a robot. So it's fine. But I did feel like I should at least express it in case she viewed it as helpful information and she would like to do something about it. So the first thing she said when I mentioned the fruits and vegetables were optimistic. So I already prepped and primed her for her. So she's like, okay, like, maybe not wanting to reject it. So, but then of course, not just her, but in a lot of our minds, something sounds a little too good. We got to start testing it. So she's like, I haven't ate bananas in a while, but I don't eat much fruit. And my doctor said something about too much fruit. It's I have 1 banana or some grapes. What's too much fruit? And I know exactly the state of mind that she's coming from, and I think a lot of you do too. If you're coming from like a medical mindset, where, drugs are better. Let me go take my decongestion, which is what she says a lot. Decongestant, a lot. And like a Claritin. That sounds easy. Pop a pill, boom, boom, 5 seconds or less. Maybe wait, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and you should feel your symptoms subside. Not cured, subside. So I understand that type of thinking because I used to have that type of thinking. But when it comes to getting out of a certain type of rhythm that you have, the mind or the ego or whatever type of attachment or type of mental, so-called educational regimen that you have, it fights back or it tests. Let me see before I go out there. That seems kind of wild. Fruits and vegetables. But this person doesn't seem like they even think twice about a pizza. A pizza with a meatball on top of it. But you question fruit. So anyway, this is the type of educational mindset that we receive from this medical, governmental approved, seemingly FDA approved, whack-ass diet pyramid, is that you have to have some type of basics of bread, dairy, some type of meats, and a little bit of fruits and vegetables. And actually, this might even be a slightly unfair attack on the pyramid, because I think the pyramid has a lot of vegetables. Now, I don't look into this science. I really don't give a damn at this point. But I do remember seeing a pyramid with lots of raw fruits and vegetables. But I may be wrong. I think it's still the narrow end. It's like, at least it is on food commercials. You'll see like a big bowl of like wheat or corn-based cereal, a lot of milk, and like an apple on the side, or you see like a meat dish or salmon or something like that, and like a leaf of lettuce, or like a thinly sliced grape tomato, like, wow, you really getting into veggies, and the fruits today. No, or some small little cup of applesauce with your white bread and processed meat sandwich with cheese. No. So that's the old way of thinking. So this new way of thinking, you decide what's best. A little bit of it, actually a lot of it, is going to be trial and error, because I'm not even saying obey me. I even just said try it. And it has to be something in your own heart or mind system that says, well, I don't got nothing to lose, or it's a worthy risk. I've eaten fruit, and you just eat a little more fruit and see what's what, But your health is totally in your hands. It's not in the government's hands. It's not in whoever made the commercial, even though it's super deceptive, super hypnotic, and you may have believed in this doctrine for several years. You still have to take responsibility for the change part in your life, and not expect anybody, specifically a doctor, to corroborate what you want to do with your life, to agree with what you want to do for your life. And she told me, like, oh yeah, the doctor say, oh, it's too sweet. Well, what about the sugar? She asked me. And it's like, we all get these questions as vegans, I guess. At some point, it's either, what about the protein? What about the what about the amount of sugar? And I'm not saying that in some processed juices, as far as some pasteurized juices or concentrated juices or even raw juices may affect something in the body that, maybe your teeth are sensitive or something like that. But whatever it is, you gotta decide. You gotta go for it. Like, it depends on the level of sick or the level that you're trying to heal at. Like, and also with your past story with the white coats, if you've been on a prescription regimen for a long time and you don't see any type of movements, and you dare to have a dream of being cured, take that baton from whoever you put above you as authority and you take the next laps. You run the rest of that marathon called your life, and you decide and you do something for yourself, even if I or no one else agrees. So I just ask you, just like I asked her, one day. And if you're feeling even more adventurous or sick and tired, basically, of the old way, 1 week, 1 year. Commit to yourself, commit to your health. That's all I have to say. Love you. If you've liked this video, please like, share, and comment on this video. And please subscribe to Raw Vegan Food Diet. Thank you. See you again soon.